It's Saturday the 5th of September, and I've got to say, nearly 2 weeks after the bridge over the Cooks River was demolished, we're finally getting to the point where we're starting to see some really good detour signage. This is the stuff that I saw on the detour today. Nice big arrows, except all this stuff should have been up 2 weeks ago. Yeah, okay, let's go through it again. Just a summary up front. So what I'm seeing now is there's more signage. The arrows are better, but it's still pointing the wrong way in places, like it's not taking the right route on the Greenway. There's some missing links, I think, where there's just no signage at all. And there hasn't been any effort to put in poles where signage is required. Now, I'm not sure how long this project is going to go for. There's a variable message sign down at the site which says it'll be opening in November. But on the council website it says early 2021. What is it, guys? Now, this project, if it started 2 weeks ago and it's going to end in at the end of November, well, no, it doesn't say when in November, it just says November. It could be the 1st of November or the end of November. So this project could end up being, I don't know, a duration of 5 weeks or 9 weeks. And we're 2 weeks into it and we still don't have the signage for the detour sorted out. Anyway, what did I do today? I actually took a much more realistic route. I came down the Greenway from the Bay Run, got to where the detour takes you off to the left and or to the east, I guess. Went around the detour and then went down to Mascot, and there's this nice little community garden down towards the airport. Went down there and had a look at that, and didn't steal anything. And then came back up, well, whatever it is down there, and got to where the detour starts again, hung a left and headed out towards Rookwood Cemetery, my favourite place, the dead centre of town. Now, let's see how we went with that. So I came bombing down this road as usual, and what I knew what I should be doing is following the white car, but what I was looking out for as I came down here was signage. And I actually did spot some signage over on the right-hand side of the road, but on the other side of the intersection. So he actually was down past the intersection, which seemed really kind of screwball to me, because when I first saw it I thought, am I supposed to keep going down the road and then take a shortcut across the grass? Well, I didn't do that. I went back and had a look, and it didn't seem to be the case. But certainly the signage was at least more visible. Now, I've got to ask, if you were putting the signage up and you knew someone had to turn left at this intersection, where would you put the signage? Would you put the signage before the intersection, possibly on the left-hand side since you're turning left, or you might even put it up on both sides of the road with arrows pointing to the left? Or would you put it on the far side of the intersection, so if there's a vehicle parked in front of it, you might not actually see it until you've gone past the intersection? Now, what I find so frustrating about all of this is the RMS has put out these wonderful manuals, like the Traffic Control at Work sites, a technical manual, which is designed for project managers or project engineers to explain how to do traffic management plans for sites like this. Now, yes, there's no cars moving through this site, but the principles are still the same. You've got to detour pedestrians and cyclists. I mean, it's really no different to detouring cars. It's just they're smaller and they're slower moving. And the Traffic Control at Work sites manual has dozens of examples of how to do a proper traffic management plan. And I've actually seen one of these for the West Connect site. Well, it's actually a whole sheaf of them actually for the Iron Cove Bridge. So I know the kind of level of detail that these people put into these plans. And when I see the signage down at the Cooks River, I go, did anyone bother actually reading the manual and then doing these layouts and then saying, oh, we need signs here, 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 and here, and these are the types of signs we need. So, right, the thing, we're going to shut it down in, late August. We need to order, 32 signs of this size, and we need arrows of this size as well, and we need them pointing this way and that way, or we're just going to have all the same arrow and we'll just turn it around when we nail it to a pole. It's just inconceivable that with all this good documentation out there, all these good guides, that wasn't used for this project. And also just the placing of the signs. I mean, just the lack of thought that's gone into it. I've got to say, at least the West Connect guys, as much as we gave them grief over the detours around the Iron Cove site and the Anzac Bridge, at least they had a plan, and if they needed to put a sign up on a corner and there wasn't a convenient place to put it where it wasn't obstructed and all the rest of it, they went and put a pole in. And they went and put a pole in quite a few sites, and here's an example of one in Rozelle. And they'll obviously take this out at the end of the project. The stupid thing is, of course, they put in the world's smallest sign about the size of a cigarette packet that you couldn't see, but at least they put in a flippin' pole. They've come back later on after we complained, and they've put in nice big signage like we see on this project. So it's like we just can't win. Either they put in the signage in the right location, but you can't see it, or in this project, they put good signage in the wrong location. Now just have a look at the old hand-drawn arrow there, which is kind of pointing up the hill, and the new arrow pointing to the left. And you'll notice that sign that was on that tree is now gone. Don't know where it's gone, but it's gone. So there's still the sign over there on the right, hiding behind that pole, but at least it's now got an arrow on it, which is really good. And I'm still a bit disappointed that this sign is here now with a great big arrow pointing in the wrong direction. Remember, the blue line is where you're supposed to go back up the Greenway, not the black line. Let's follow this around, and what we'll find is up the end of this road there is some new signage, look, peeking out from behind that parked car. I don't know if you'd actually be able to see that if there was a car parked in front of it though, because it's down low. I mean, it's good it's down low for cyclists to see it. Now just notice this family on the right coming around the corner. They're on the road. You can see that mum's got a baby on the back and there's a young kid, and that's the kind of cyclists that the council has put onto this road. Now obviously they can ride on the footpath, and here's 3 adults breaking the law by sensibly riding on the footpath. I would have thought the council would have turned that into a shared path for the duration of the project, so that people could legally ride there and not have to put up with this road. Now notice we turn left here. This is the end of the detour. I'm off to Mascot. Not a single sign. There is not a sign anywhere to be seen. So here I am, I'm back on the Cooks River path, and from here I can head down towards Mascot and see the community gardens, blah blah blah. So let's turn around and go back the other way and check out the signage in the other direction. And here we are heading back, and we're about 100 yards short of the road. And what I'll be expecting to see along here is at least a map and maybe some detour signage telling you that when you pop out at the end here, that if you want to go towards say Strathfield and Rookwood, etc., you want to turn left. And if you want to go back towards, the Greenway and 5 Dock, etc., you want to turn right. Where's the signage? See it over on the other side of the road there? That's ridiculous. I mean, what does that say? What does that mean? I don't know. I mean, it stops you going up that street, but it's really of no help, and it's hiding behind that sign. And of course, it doesn't help people come along the road. Now, again, here at least there's a nice big arrow has been stuck up under that sign over on the right, which is nice. There's no parked car down the bottom here today, so you can actually see this sign, which is good. But this is the last sign that you'll see. There's nothing to tell you where to get to the bridge. So look, I took this literally, and it said turn left, so I turned left onto this desire line, which is a bit of a muddy track going across the grass here. And you can see plenty of other people have done it before me, because you can actually see the line across here. That takes us to the bridge, and I assume this is the correct bridge to get on, because again there's no arrows to tell you where to go. So let's have some nice flowers here to make us feel a little bit better about this, because it still needs a lot of improvement. 2 weeks in, and it's still in this state. Now, some of the really quick and basic improvements I think that could be made, firstly on Wardell Road, where you have to turn left at the crosswalk to go into Ewen Park, put a sign there with an arrow telling people to go left. I mean, that's pretty simple. When you're coming out of Ewen Park, position detour signage in a better location and put a map there so that people coming up from Mascot know about the detour, because the signage on the other side of the road there is just ridiculous. At the first roundabout, again, put a detour sign with an arrow telling people to go straight ahead, not to go left. I mean, I know it might seem pretty obvious you're supposed to go straight ahead, but never assume anything. And again, at the next roundabout, put up some more intermediate signage telling you to go straight ahead to get up to the next one. I mean, this stuff is not rocket science. It's not that difficult. And if temporary poles need to be put in to put signs in better locations where they're not obscured, then put in temporary poles.